no sound at all. But you don't want to have the music with some rapper in the background rapping over your program, because he's got a program too. You understand? So you create your own audio cassettes with your own program, because your brain is or mind is a computer, a supercomputer. And if you do not program what goes into your computer, what happens? Somebody else will program it for you. And if they're Mercury and Psychopomp in the Roman Vatican Church, whatever their program is not a program for who? You. All right. They also suggested that we stop being monolingual. Our people were multilingual people. Has anybody ever seen, and somebody asked me today why I didn't bring this movie up yesterday. Have you ever seen the movie The 13th Warrior? Yeah. With Antonio Banderas. In that movie, what role was he playing? Who was his character? A Moor. When he went amongst now remember, he was sent off because some guy was jealous of him and the relationship or attraction between his wife and him. So he was sent off with these creatures, and you guys that saw the movie, you should have saw the parts that I was telling you about yesterday. When they had the water, then they were washing their hands in the water and blowing their noses in the water and gargling in the water and then passing it to the next person who went into the same water, and they passed it to the brother, and he was like, oh no, I'm good. Go ahead, I don't want. That was how we were when it came to them. It was like, oh, okay, no. But he didn't understand their language when he first got with them. Now, by the time they were sitting up one day and he just sat with them, how did he learn? Who taught him their language?
He taught himself.
He taught himself. He sat there, he listened, he watched them, and he figured out what they were talking about. And one day they started talking about him and his mom. And he's like, oh, you done lost it. Oh, okay, as the sister said, you done lost your rabbit mind. Then and only then did he have something to say to them. And they were like, you speak our language? He's like, yes. Well, who taught it to you? I taught myself. And my mother, unlike yours, and he said something about their mother was really insulting. But that's the way we were. We traveled all over the world. What were we? Navigators. We navigated everywhere and went to different cultures. That's why we were kind of like a big family, because we went everywhere. And we spoke all the different dialects when we got there. And if we didn't understand it, we just kind of listened and learned it. Learn some alternative languages. Just so for the record, I taught myself Hebrew and forgot it. I taught myself Spanish and thought I forgot it until I went to create cheat sheets for other people. And then I realized, man, I remember it. I'm currently teaching myself Japanese. And I have found that every language under the sun is easier to learn than English.
Yeah.
Every other language, a vowel has one sound, boom. The A sounds like the O sounds like O, the E sounds like A, the I sounds like E, and that's most languages. English is, well, sometimes I except after C instead of E, and, and sometimes I, sometimes Y. And
because they use it
because it's a spell, it's equivocal. But if you can speak English, you can speak anything. Anything. You can buy a bunch of little cassettes and programs off the internet. They have the book to go with and the cassette to go with, and you can teach yourself the language. It's not that hard. Because if we are in the process of rising up back into the place of the rulers of the world, how can you be an ambassador or an emissary for your people and you cannot even communicate with or speak the language of other people? You also need to learn an extended decimal place. The decimals go way beyond 1 billion. And you know that coming from the Yahweh group. Right now, the only melanated people that I can think of that can calculate well into the decimals are followers of Yahweh ben Yahweh. Because what is it he taught the people? If you are going to rule the world, you must be mentally prepared to count and calculate the world's money. You can't rule the world if you can't count beyond 1 billion. And how many people in this room can really get past the 1 billion decimal place? Raise your hand. Beyond the billion. 3 people. And that's okay. Okay, somebody, how many can get beyond the trillion? Decimal place.
Quadrillion.
Nonillion, decillion, 100 nonillion. Man, okay, it goes on and on. But see, most people sitting here go like, what? What? Huh? What are they talking about? But if you want to rule the world, you need to be able to count higher than you can count. Or at the very least, know higher decimal places. You understand? They want you guys to know this stuff. Because their thing is, who are you kidding? How are you going to be a leader of a planet? You can't rule your own house right now. Let alone your house. Most of us can't rule ourselves right now. Okay. Now, they also told me to tell you, and I think I already did, quit calling yourselves families because you ain't no dang family. And you ain't no tribe. The tribe of Israel. You ain't no tribe. Pink people are tribal. We are the people, or the people. Was it? We used to be the people, or I'm the people, and one of the people, and we're the people, or the cats, or whatever, but we were always the people. Or empires. Which means fire out. To press the fire out. Because the word EM, or yeah, EM from empire means X. Empire is expire, which means breathe out. And pyre is also fire, which means fire pushed out. Okay, the brother said it's shin in Hebrew. All right, so you guys need to learn the geometry, learn the algebra, wean off the Federal Reserve notes. They also said this. Unless you are, and you know for a fact that you are, the descendant of somebody that was brought here from Africa as a slave, stop claiming that, because most of you are not descendants of people that were brought here from Africa as slaves. During the whole entire slave trade, less than 3% of all the slaves traded, less than 3% of them were brought here from Africa. There were more people brought from here to Africa, and from here to Europe, and from South America to North America, and from South and North America to the Caribbean islands and so on, and back again, and that kind of thing. But not that many people were brought here from Africa as slaves on any slave ship. Now, if in fact your ancestors are amongst those people, then claim it and claim it with pride, because they survived. But stop claiming things that you have no evidence of just because somebody told you in school that that is your story, because they said it's not your story. It's not. Some of our people were captured here and enslaved here, tricked into servitude and tricked out of their properties through these servitudes, but it was not slavery as you know it today, or you think you know it. So they don't want you to claim that unless it applies to you. It's like, well, I know for a fact that my great-great-grandfather so-and-so was brought here as a slave because my mama told me, and this. That's different. But most people can't find no evidence of that. I saw 2 or 3 hands go up. Yes, loud enough to be on this tape.
I was, where would I find validation for the fact of we being here in America taken to Africa, to the Caribbean, and so forth?
That information
I'm clear on it. I just want to know where I can find validation if I'm trying to tell somebody. Like you said, I don't want them to believe me. I want to be able to have them, direct them to the source, or to a better source than my mouth.
Well, they can go to the library. They can go on the internet. Let me think. The Empress of Washita was a good source if they can get a hold of her book. Even though she's wrong on a lot of the things that she's saying, she's right about other things that she's saying. Not the Empress. I'm going to give you name another sister. This other sister, even though she's wrong on a lot of the things that she's saying, she's right on a lot of the things that she's saying. You can confer with Sister Reverend Ray Dine. She knows some things. There's a movie called 1492 about Columbus and them. And it shows how they came over here and they left here and took a bunch of people with them to Europe. And does anybody else have a book title? Because I can't give this brother a title. They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima. Is that Ivan Van Sertima that wrote? No.
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, They Came Before Columbus. Anybody know any additional books for this brother?
Here's the book right here. It's called The Morning of the Magicians.
The Morning of the Magicians by who?
It was in French first. So the guy's name is Louis. His last name is P-A-W-W-E-L-S.
His name is Louis, P-A-U-W-E-L-S.
There's two bits to it. And Jacques, spelled J-A-C-Q-U-E-S.
And the co-author is Jacques.
That's a B-E-R-G-I-R.